Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am the Sipping Tea, and today I have a commentary video for you here of the new G.I. Joe Wolverine tank destroyer. Briefly, however, before I get into it, I just wish to thank my patrons NB Hollywood, Nagair898 and Tanker Tough 66. Thank you ever so much for your continued donations, as it does help me produce content on this channel. So, with that being said, let's get into it. So here I am, having just entered siege mode. I've managed to put one round into the M60A3, and unfortunately the next one bounced before the enemy, or before my allied team manages to take him down completely. There's a heavy here, the M103A2, who I'm sort of trying to track here, but he's dipping in and out of sort of sight and indeed behind rocks. Managed to shoot him once with the main gun, and here I go again with some missiles, but unfortunately it doesn't quite go to plan. Apologies for the poor sort of frame rate just here. It's a bit of a shame, but nonetheless I haven't really missed anything just here, as I was unable to hit that heavy with those missiles. I'm just pausing now to see if there's if that heavy makes a reappearance, but no, unfortunately not. But the Magok 6B Gal does make an appearance, and I managed to shoot him. Here we go again with the attempt with the rockets, but unfortunately no, they don't land either. But I do manage to have a little bit of success with the main gun. I notice that BT2 suddenly appears to my left and rather close, a bit too close for comfort. But again, the same old story with my rockets, with my missiles, no luck just there. My friendly team here has managed to take out that M60A2, which is just as well. We seem to have defended this sort of side reasonably effectively. The Magok has reappeared. I managed to shoot him once with the main gun and incoming missiles again, but no, still no luck. I am not exactly the best with missiles, unfortunately, as this gameplay really does seem to highlight. But nonetheless, the main gun on this tank is reasonably good, and I managed to get those missiles straight into the M103A2, and in fact ammo racked him with the very last missile, which probably would have killed him outright anyway, regardless of the ammo racking. I now stand at just under 3100 damage, which is pretty decent given that there's only been a few minutes on the game so far. We don't really have an overwhelming lead at 11-9, but it's well, important not to let up on the punishment of the enemy team. I only have one volley of missiles left in this clip, so I'm taking a look at the well, my counterpart on the enemy team, but no luck on that. Unfortunately, I try and fire the missiles there at the medium tank and then switch to the main gun, which then made me lose control of my missiles, which was a bit unfortunate as I lost line of sight thanks to the rock that's in front of me. I'm sort of desperately trying to get a shot on something here, but not having too much luck, though I did just manage to track the enemy Wolverine, which has led to a bit of punishment for him, but he is being blocked with my line of sight by a dead tank over there. The scores have more or less started to even up. Well, it's 9-7 now, so it's by no means in the bag. It's a pretty close game. I'm not really... Oh, there we go. I was going to say I'm not really seeing much out there, but the VT2 makes a reappearance. I take a shot at him to no avail, unfortunately. He sort of returned fire at me, or at least someone did. But again, it does seem to be a little bit on the neck and neck side as one of our teammates decides to kill themselves, which is not great. 8-7, and the enemy are now really close. They are knocking at the door. But I have a teammate here going toe-to-toe with the VT2. I'm sort of looking in that direction, but of course I don't have a shot on him, so I am feeling a little bit useless. This tank, while it does have relatively decent defense thanks to its extreme angling, it does still have very thin armor. I managed to take a shot at the VT2, and thankfully my teammate in the Leopard 2AV finishes him off. And I'm standing at a pretty decent amount of damage right here. I do a bit of a gun wiggle there in frustration because I know that I've not really put out as much damage as I perhaps could have done with all those failed missile attempts. But thankfully the missiles that were just fired at me from the the enemy Wolverine managed to miss, as this rather friendly rock to my left has kept me nicely protected. 4,000 damage on the board with, well, 5 minutes more or less gone on the game. The scores are still quite close. Of course, we do have the advantage here by 3 tanks, but that doesn't necessarily mean an awful lot. I finally get a look here at the enemy T-72, but unfortunately I take a shot just as he disappears and it manages to miss. I see another couple of tanks here, the FV-4211 and also a Leopard, which are both very close to me, a bit too close for comfort. Once again, the Leopard 1A1 makes a run for it. I shoot him once with the main gun and then follow up with a couple of lucky missile shots, and he is now back in the garage. The Leopard 2AV on my team decided that they didn't want to see the rest of the battle out, and they committed suicide, which is a bit of a shame because it keeps the scores rather nail-bitingly close. That FV-4211 on the enemy team is hiding behind the rock and has, of course, gone unspotted. I'm looking around to see if I can get any other shots on the enemy team to try and put the odds just a little bit more in our favour. I move forwards here just to get a bit more cover from the rock in case the FV-4211 behind me decides to move out, as I take a shot at the T-72 and thankfully land a hit on him. We now outnumber the enemy 2-1, which is a little bit more comfortable, but as I say it, so one dies, but then, well, yes, a 4211 on the enemy team died as well. So let's see if I can deal with this 4211 that is trying to cap the base, which is simply not allowed. We can't be putting up with that, so let's have a look. No, unfortunately he does spot me as I fire at him, and I don't get to hit him right there, which is a shame. I decided to go for a bit of a jump down this cliff here because I need to focus down on this enemy Wolverine, as they have an enormous amount of potential to do damage. I managed to get at least one missile into him there, which is rather good, but I just can't quite get the main gun onto him. The missiles, however, do have a little bit more elevation with them being on the top of my tank, which means that I am able to shoot a few more at him, but unfortunately, pretty much as is the story throughout this game, they did not meet their target. There's only 40 odd seconds left on the base before it is actually capped, so it is now time to sort of focus a little bit more on the 4211, and thankfully one of my teammates does actually manage to reset the cap, which is fantastic. It takes an awful lot of pressure off. The tank that was trying to tackle the Wolverine, unfortunately I left on his own there really, and well, yes, he managed to die, but we're now making short work of this 4211, which is fantastic. The missiles are hitting home. They are managing to deal a bit of damage to that immensely well armoured tank. He is now gone. 4 of us versus 1 enemy Wolverine, so the odds are very much in our favour at this point. A whopping 7,761 damage on the board for me, which is really, really good news. There's the enemy Wolverine. He's finally sort of popped out to say hello. My round bounces off him, as is very easy to do on these tanks. But there we go. I managed to ammo rack him, which he seemed to repair very quickly, and there we are. One of my teammates finishes him off, my fellow Wolverine. What a fantastic game. That was relatively close until the very end. I managed to secure second place with 3 kills and an enormous 8,187 damage. Really, really good result for this tank. That's it for this video. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.